on, today I've come on to do Gainer's tag. Gainer over at Gainer's Happy Place has started a tag which is show your oldest reborn. I meant to do it sooner, but I've had a rough weekend. I found out at the end of last week that my poor Tallulah Belle has some tumours. We took her to the vets because she's got a claw that's not quite right. It was growing sideways, so we took her to the vets because I felt her pad and it was swollen. And while she was there, the vet had a good check over of her. We only took her 3 weeks ago. We took her 3 weeks ago with her eyes, and they said her eyes were fine, but this time they said, oh no, she's got ulcers in her eyes again, so she's got to have treatment for the ulcers in her eyes, she's got to have treatment for her foot, and they found 2 tumours, one in her mouth, which on the way to the vets, she was on my knee, and on the way to the vets she yawned, and I screamed because I saw this lump in her mouth. And so of course I mentioned it to the vet when we got there, and she said, oh yeah, that's a tumour. So she's got a tumour in her mouth, and she's also got one sort of in between her front legs. It's like a little pendulous jelly. I mean, I've never noticed it, and I pick her up to lift her on the bed, and that's where I hold her, you know, sort of in between her front legs and in between her back legs. I lift her up like that, and I've never noticed it, and I wouldn't have done if she hadn't have said. But I said to the vet, oh, you know, I'm really worried about her having an anaesthetic, and she said, look, if you leave that tumour in her mouth, it could break her jaw. She says, and then, you know, she's going to be in a terrible state. So of course I've been worried sick about her. She was given antibiotics, painkillers, and 2 lots of stuff for her eyes, and this was after they'd put the green or yellowy green stuff in her eyes to check, and she did show me she's got 3 ulcers in one eye, and they've come up in the last 3 weeks. And here we were busy congratulating ourselves on how well we'd done, you know, with her eyes, that they looked really great. Anyway, so she's going to clear up her eyes and try and get her toe, her toe was swollen. She said she looks like she's wrenched the claw, and it's, you know, made the toe swell up. She said it really needs cutting off, and she says I can't do it while she's awake. So we're going to try and sort out her claw and get the swelling down, and get her eyes sorted, and then we've got to take her back on Friday of this week to have her eyes checked again. I mean, last time it took about 6 weeks to clear them up, but hopefully this time we've caught it sooner. But yes, and then we'll have to discuss, she's got to have some biopsies, and they might do an x-ray on her foot depending on, you know, how well, I mean, the swelling has gone down, to be honest, and we've got to keep an eye on the tumours to make sure they're not growing, but she needs a lot of work done in her mouth apparently because of this tumour, and she's got gum disease apparently. So yes, I've been worried sick about that, and then Saturday morning I wake up with a massive swollen gland just on the right side of my neck, not the left, just the right. This huge swollen gland. I look like I'm growing an extra head. Anyway, I didn't feel ill or anything because I'm so off my head on painkillers. You know, I don't feel a lot of anything, to be honest. Anyway, I wasn't bothered. I thought, oh, you know, ugh. Anyway, then yesterday I was busy working in my downstairs room, working on a journal. I bent down to put something away under my desk, and the flipping glue gun stuck to my cheek. So I've got this great big thing, swollen gland on the right of my neck, and then on the left I've burnt my cheeks. I've had an awful weekend, and I just did not feel like, you know, making any videos. Anyway, I did want to pop on and do Gainer's video because I did say that I would do it, and I do think it is a good video. So sorry about going off on that tangent there. So here we are. Here is my oldest reborn, and would you believe that she is 20 years old? I've had her for 20 years in November. She is the Ashton Drake, I think it's something like Welcome Home Baby Emily, or So Truly Real baby Emily. I call her Sarah Jane. She is a partial vinyl, so she's vinyl up to here, and then she's cloth. She does have armatures in her arms. You can move her arms and that. She's quite, you know, her arms are quite movable. Her legs are too. She's vinyl up to just below the knee on her legs. She's got little feet and that. Her hair is glued on, which I think looks absolutely awful. I hate that hair. But anyway, it's 20 years old and it doesn't look so bad for 20 years old, I guess. And would you believe she still smells of baby powder? She's got a magnet which is still working fine. She can have a dummy. When I first got her, I was so disappointed because the pictures of these dolls on the magazines look nothing like the actual dolls, and I found that to be true of a lot of Ashton Drake dolls. But anyway, she has she's grown on me, and I shan't be getting rid of her because she was my 40th birthday present. So yeah, for my 60th I'm hoping to get a full body silicone, but of course my first priority is to get my little dog sorted, so I'm not going to be buying any more dolls or anything until I've got Tallulah sorted. All my money's going to go towards her because yeah, she's more important than Dolly's, isn't she? So yes, Gaynor, there she is. This is, I call her Sarah Jane. I've always called her Sarah Jane, and she's actually wearing a vintage sleeper. This is a Terry Towlin vintage sleeper, and this is the sort of sleeper I would have put on my own children, because in the days that I was having my children, you didn't know whether you were having a boy or a girl, so you bought neutral colour clothing, and I always went for lemon. Yeah, I always bought lemon clothing until, you know, you bought sort of a layette of white and lemon things, vests, baby grows, socks, nappies, you know, and then once they were born, you'd go out and buy the either dresses or the boy stuff. So yeah, this is my gorgeous Sarah Jane. She is my oldest reborn, 20 years old. She was, I already did have dolls when I got her. I had been collecting before I got her, but I didn't start collecting in earnest until maybe, oh no, it was quite a while since I started collecting in earnest, because, no, it must be, I think I started collecting in earnest maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, 5 or 6 years ago I started collecting, you know, fashion dolls and things like that. Before then it was like baby dolls, like tiny tear size dolls, and she was my first one that looks, she doesn't look like a baby, she doesn't, but it doesn't matter, I still love her. I still love her. She's weighted nicely, she's got armatures in her legs, she's got armatures in her arms, she moves nicely, she's nicely weighted. She, yeah, it's just, if her hair could have been better, and her face actually isn't bad, but that hair really does spoil it, doesn't it? You know, if she had like rooted hair or something, she'd look a lot better, and she could do with some eyebrows as well, bless her. But anyway, yes, so that's me doing Gaynor's tag, show your oldest reborn. Do pop over to Gaynor's channel, I'll link it in the title of the video. I hope you enjoyed that. Please forgive me moaning, I needed to offload. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.